On the bench today is a Marantz 2275 that has definitely seen better days. Those are the cabinet screws. So I've already done kind of a quick triage, right? When I bring things into the garage, I normally, before I put them on the shelf and add them to my queue, I'll give them a once over with unknown gear, pop the cabinet off, take a look around the inside, make sure nothing looks out of sorts. And then I will put it on the dim bulb tester and turn it on and test it out. So this one, this 2275, everything looked okay on the inside, very, very dirty. This thing is, let me just show you the front of it here. This thing is disgusting. A bunch of the lights are out. Basically, all the lights are out in the display. It's got caked on grime and nicotine and nastiness on the dials and on the faceplate. I think this one had scratchy controls, possibly distorted sound. So we're going to check it out here real quick and see. And then I'm going to make some notes because this is the next project that I'm going to be working on. Again, when I do my initial kind of triage check, I don't go into a lot of detail. I don't check all the inputs. I don't clean anything to confirm whether or not, distortion is caused from dirty pots. I just turn it on, get an idea of what the operational status is, and then kind of go from there. So turned all the way down, power, flash, dim bulb went dim. Let's see, it's on FM. I'm getting a station. Don't know what station that was. Looks like dirty tape buttons because the channel just cut out. And I don't have an antenna hooked up to this, so I think what I'm going to start with is I know for sure the pots and the controls are dirty on this thing. So I am going to take the bottom off and look and see what we got going on underneath. See what I can clean without major disassembly. Then go from there. It looks like the power cord has been replaced on this. Someone's been in here before, which is always, well, not always, which can be a bad sign because we have 3 screws missing off the front of this. So why was someone in here? So I'm going to disassemble the bottom, clean the pots. We have several screws missing. We've got more than just 3. We've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws missing. Now, this may have been in a cabinet, and I actually have a wooden cabinet for this that was purchased afterwards. So this will be going into a wooden cabinet. Looking at these controls, what I see is, look at that. I don't know what that is. It's like sawdust, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But it looks like I can get to most of these controls from the bottom. Even some of the tone controls. So I'm gonna clean these real quick. This is gonna be kind of a first clean. I'm gonna flush them, right, with some WD-40 contact cleaner. And then we will give it another sound check and see what it sounds like, and then go from there. All right, let me zoom in just a little bit here. All right. Now, let's see what change that made. Oh, turn on my power. Here's the protection circuit. You don't want to play too much of that. Okay, sound out of both channels. Now, and again, that was just a real quick, right, control cleaning just to kind of see where we're at. Let me hook up an antenna. I want to see how this FM is doing. I want to see if I get stereo separation. All right, so initial kind of cleanup sound check sounds all right. I think what I'm going to do first with this is I want to get the lamps sorted out. To do that, I'm going to remove the faceplate and I'm going to clean the faceplate up. Now, I'm not going to do that on camera. I'm going to do this in my kitchen. I will come back, though, to do the lamps. The dial pointer is illuminated, so that's good. So I am going to work on that, and then I will come back, show you the state of the face, so you can see the face is really dirty, just caked in dirt all over. All of these knobs are absolutely disgusting. So we will come back, or I will come back after I have cleaned this thing up. All right, so I got the face and the knobs all cleaned up. I'm not going to put that back on, though, until I look at the lamps. I need to charge this. Plug this in real quick. All right, so let's look at... And it's been a little bit since I've worked on a 2275. But I believe that will come off like so. And then I don't think I have to remove this. I think I have to remove it. Dang. My dog's trying to eat a piece of wood over there. All right. Maybe not. Let's see if I can get this. So I think there are 2 screws I remove. Yeah, because that wouldn't really do anything if I remove that. Again, I know I've changed lamps on these before. I just am having kind of a brain fart on how I did it. So if I remember correctly, there are 2 screws that hold the lamps in place behind the dial. And I think I can remove them with this screwdriver. I may have to get a smaller one for this other side, but I think... Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, that loosened it up. Okay. Sorry, this one screw is just stuck in here and I cannot get it. There we go. And then there's one screw on this side that I can get to. It's also got a little wire keeper on it, so All right, so there's that one. And then I believe I can back this out. The panel where all the lamps are actually sitting, like so. And I should have access to the lamps. What you doing, Dixie? Why are you trying to do that while I'm working on something? I think my dial, there, get that out of the way. I'm going to have to increase the tension on that a little bit. All right. There we go. All these wires are wrapped, and I didn't cut the wrap, so it's a little bit difficult. There's going to be one lamp I'm going to have to wrestle with, but I should be able to access. I don't know if you can see them. All the lamps are sitting here, and it's just a simple matter of popping them out and putting new ones in, and not having them go down in that little tiny channel, which that one did. So, kind of like so. So I'm going to speed through this. This is going to be painful to watch. I'm going to speed through this, and then come back around and. I'm going to also do these two. There are two lamps over here, and we will, and then we'll check it out. Okay, that took longer than it should have. This is all gunked right here, so I am going to look at all the nasty old grease that's coming off of that. And I think there's a foam, this foam, well, the foam that was here disintegrated, got down in there, and kind of did a number on that, so. I am going to put a little bit of lithium grease on that just to keep that sliding, but now it's sliding much better than it was. But I will put a little bit of grease on there. All right, now make sure I get gunk off of the dial without breaking the dial pointer, because that would really suck. All right, I'm going to power this on and see how the lights are. Beautiful. The tuner's not it's not doing a very good job of tuning. I'm not seeing any stereo separation. I know there's an adjustment pot back here, but yeah, there's no stereo light. I think on this, if I go to another function though, like phono, if I can get to phono, I thought with like auxiliary or something that light was supposed to come on. So could be that the lamp is out. I'm gonna have to. It's probably oh, this has two lamps. Yeah, I kind of remember that. So anyway. What I'm going to do now is I am going to put the face plate back on, I believe, because... Oh, and I'll show you the after on this. So there it is with the face all illuminated. Man, I gotta get some... This thing is so nasty. It's so just dirty and dusty and gross. So I think what I'm going to do is put the face plate back on this, and Then we will look at that stereo light. I think there are two, and they're in series, and I think if one goes out, it takes the other one out. I'm pretty sure I have some of those. That should come out. I'm going to have to remove this strip, and then I think there are a couple of screws back there. I know I've replaced those on pieces of gear several times. So, all right. So I'll put this together, come back, and we'll talk about that stereo light. All right, so I'm going to do the stereo lamp now. But, you know, before I do that, I want to see what's going on with the voltage. I know it's 8, or, well, at least I'm pretty sure it's 8 volts. But I want to see if the lamps are even turning on. So I need to get that there. So there are 2 lamps in series. So I've got my leads going across both lamps. So what I want to see is when I turn this on, right now it is set to FM. All right, so there's tape, auxiliary, yeah, the stereo, yeah. Now this says 12. Let's check this out again. Make sure I got this right. I may not have that right. Let's try it this way, because I'm pretty sure this is an 8-volt lamp that goes in here. Sorry if my head's in the way, but trying to, there we go. Okay. I'm almost positive this is 8 volts. At least I looked up in the schematic and that's what I saw. Let me just check something over here real quick. I'm going to confirm the voltage on this. I saw 8 volts. This is giving me 12. I do have 12 and 8 volt lamps that'll go in there. Actually, what I think I'll do first is I'll remove the panel, see if the lamps are marked. And go from there. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick, come back and let you know what I found. Alright, so it was actually 2 6 amp or 6 volt lamps in there. So I might have been looking at a 2275 forum post discussing the lamp size. So, and it's these 2 lamps right here, right? So I'm going to do my best to capture this. My big fat head is probably going to get in the way, but I will try to keep it out of the frame. Just bending that until I get a better angle on it. Right, so on to replacing these lamps. Alright, so those have been replaced. Gonna turn this on, make sure they're working. Stereo light is on. But it appears that it is not working for FM. So we'll have to look at that, see if we can get that sorted out. But I'm not a tuner guy, so not sure how far I'm going to go down into sorting out that FM section. To be honest with you, I'm not really set up to do proper FM alignments, and it's something I'm just not interested in doing. But maybe we'll try it on this one. But I want to confirm some things before I get too far down that path. So just to show you that the stereo light is now illuminated, turn it on. Now you see the stereo beacon, right? So that's on tape, auxiliary, phono 1 and 2. And all of the indicator lights are working just fine. And again, those were 6.3 volt, 40 milliamp. I think the spec was 30 milliamp in the service manual. Excuse me while I adjust my mic real quick. So I'm going to look at a few things regarding the FM section, and I'm going to look at those alignment procedures, and I'll come back and let you know what I have decided I'm going to do. Alright, so I was able to get the stereo light to illuminate, and I'm going to piss some people off, but that's just how it is. I don't have a distortion analyzer, so I can't really do a proper FM alignment if it requires a distortion analyzer. So what I did is I basically opened up the service manual and I followed the alignment procedures as best as I could. However, that didn't really pan out. So one thing that I had not considered was moving the, I'm looking to see, it is in FM alignment procedures, step number 12. It was the discriminator board. Once I adjusted these two coils on the discriminator board, now you can see that stereo light is on. And muting also works because it wasn't working before. So dead station, and look at the tuning meter. The tuning meter goes right to the center, and I get stereo separation. Right? So again, poor man's alignment, but when you don't have everything that you need, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So that might find, or someone might find that useful or helpful if they don't have, like me, they don't have a distortion analyzer. So all the lamps are working, stereo lamp is illuminated. What I am going to do now is I really need to finish cleaning up the inside of this, so I'm going to blow this all out, and then I need to do the amplifier alignment, so I'll do the amplifier alignment after I get this cleaned up. Take you through those steps, and then we'll throw it in the cabinet. Hopefully the cabinet will work for this. Shop owner bought one, so hopefully it's the right one. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, but yeah, so that's where we're at for right now. Pick it back up here with the cleaned up Marantz 2270 and the amplifier alignment procedures. Alright, so DC offset bias have been set. And I'll go over the alignment procedures. This is what I just finished doing. So this is on auxiliary, there's no volume. Actually there's not supposed to be a load, so that's on the right channel, so that's correct. I'm just showing you actually let me take a step back and do this and show you. I just turned it on. I'm not going to adjust it because these settings were after I let it warm up for about 10 minutes. But if you look at right channel, I've got the voltmeter in the right speaker terminals, it's at 0.001, should be 0, right? To adjust that, it's this pot here. And then on this side, you have to flip it up on its, you have to flip the actual stereo up on its side to access this one. So you adjust this trim pot, it's either up or down, right? So it's either clockwise or counterclockwise until you get to 0. And that's after a 10-minute warm-up. The bias adjustment, however, per the manual, is incorrect. So this tells you to go from jumper J753 to 754. That is not correct. You're actually going to, oops, go down to 754, and then you will, right, attach the other lead to ground. And then to adjust that one, and I'll turn this just a little tiny bit, just to kind of show you what happens. Right, if I turn this, see how it's going up, now it's going down. This is going to be set for 5 millivolts. Again, I set this initially after it had warmed up. So I'll let this run for a little bit, and then I'll move it back. Because well, I assume it's going to come down. It's very cold in my garage right now, so I want to make sure this is nice and warm, right, when I go to readjust that. But those are the alignment procedures. I'm not sure why the service manual, it has you going from 53 jumper J753 to jumper J754, but when you do that, you get like 45 volts, and that's not correct. And I recall on the other Marantz that I worked on, that was also an issue. So I vaguely remembered, okay, you had to go from ground to 754, and it's kind of weird. You have 753, 755, and then 754. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, so you can see that going down. That'll peg out at about 5 after it warms up. So DC offset and bias have been set. I'm going to turn this off. Actually, I need to turn it back on, and then I'll measure that again. But we should be good to go on that. As you can see, I have not dusted out the inside, so I'm going to take this over to my air compressor. And it's really cold in my garage. It's like 35 degrees. So it's winter. Winter gets very cold. Got my heater running. I'm not going to be out here very long today. I am going to go blow this out. And then I think it's going to be time to put this into the cabinet. So let me go take care of that. I'll probably come back after I have put this in the cabinet and finished doing all my cosmetic cleanup. But it's much cleaner than it was. I didn't realize this was kind of Marantz 2270 basket case number 2, which I think is kind of funny. I had 2 of these that came in pretty much the same shape, pretty crappy. So anyway, I'll come back, wrap this video up, and then we'll call the Marantz 2270, at least this Marantz 2270, done. All right, well, as you can see, there is no cabinet because the cabinet that was purchased was an aftermarket cabinet, and I'll be honest, it was of sketchy quality. And I believe it was a Sansui or some other manufacturer's cabinet that just happens to almost fit one of these. The bottom feet holes were drilled out. It was just garbage, which is unfortunate. I didn't buy it. Someone else bought it. But, you know, if you're going to buy a cabinet for a 2270, you might want to buy like an actual Marantz cabinet. Not try to save a couple bucks by buying an aftermarket one. And maybe the person that purchased didn't know. Yeah, it's one of those things where just get the real thing, right? Because you know it's going to fit. I can't even make it fit because the faceplate doesn't sit down far enough into the box. And I'm not even going to show you what it looks like. But beware if you buy aftermarket Marantz cabinets on eBay. Go with an OEM Marantz cabinet unless there's a seller with lots of good feedback. And I would stick with recommendations from like Audio Karma, you know, one of the the better known audio forums or social media page. Like there's a Facebook Marantz forum. I would definitely go and opt to purchase something from someone who's got a little bit more feedback. Because I actually looked at the posting and I'm like, this doesn't look right. So anyway, you live and you learn. So I'm just mounting the original feet back on here, and these feet are original Marantz, I believe. I do have a couple of screws I'm going to put in the bottom, but I'm going to call the Marantz 2270 good for now. If a cabinet pops up, I do have to do a little bit more cosmetic cleanup, but if a cabinet pops up, I'll show you that. But for all intents and purposes, this Marantz is done. So as always, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe. Catch you in the next video.